Alright, it's 7:30. I'm leaving the Mountain Home B&B and cabin, which is down here. That's where I stayed and took my zero yesterday. I just had some gluten-free pancakes. My stomach hurts. I'm not super thrilled about that. I have a ton of food. We're going into Shenandoah today. I'm going into Shenandoah today. And my goal is not to, like, the 108 miles I'm going to go all the way through. I can supplement at the waysides, but it doesn't sound like they have a lot of GF options, so I'll just pick up my junk food as I go. I'm planning on 5 days, maybe a little longer. Today is a tough way to start because it's like 14 or 26. So I'll be looking for some stealth sites. Hopefully I can find some. I didn't see a lot in gut hooks, but I have a couple areas noted that would give me like 18 miles. But I really like to be doing like a little over 20 today. But first up, I have a really big climb this morning. It's going to take a few hours, several miles, 1,500 foot in gain. No, 2,500 foot in gain. 1,000, 2,000, something like that. A lot. All right, here we go. Pretty how the light is coming in to the forest this morning. I feel like I've outwalked fall a little bit. Definitely not as much color here, but I think when we get to the higher elevations here soon we'll be seeing more color. And we're about half a mile away from the Shenandoah northern boundary. So I'll have to fill out my permit and register and be ready to go. I have done 3.7 miles, about 1,800 feet in elevation gain, and we are officially in the backcountry of Shenandoah. So super exciting. We have a short peak, Compton Mountain coming up, and then we have the North and South Marshall Mountains, which should have some good views, I think. And it's beautiful today. It's cool and sunny, and yeah, not as fast as I wanted to be this morning, but I'm getting there, picking up the pace. So pretty pleased with my first part of the climb, and looking forward to the rest. Yeah, I am really starting to think about when I want to finish the hike. So lots to noodle on today. It's windy. I had to put my buff on to keep my ears warm today. Yeah, so 11 miles in. I'm going to try to do probably 11 more. And things are looking okay. Had some nice views for lunch. And it's about 1:30 right now. Not particularly fast today, but we did have some more climbs than we've been used to. So getting back into the swing of things feels good. Alright, let's check out the trail. So, crossed Skyline Drive for like what will be 1 million times that I'm going to do that through the Shennies. There was a parking lot, and I went down this gravel road, which I thought was the path, but there were a bunch of cars, and really the path was behind one of those cars. So I realized, I'm like, I don't think I'm on the AT, and I look and realize I'm not, but I see a sign for the shelter, the next shelter. So I walked to it, and then got water and came back up. It was like a quarter mile off, so probably a half mile total. Extra walking, just super irritating. It was very steep up and down. It happens. So, not counting that little side trail, I've got about 14 miles in, and I have another, I don't know, probably do another 8 or so. I'll call it a day. And it is, I don't know, 5:30, 5:45. I've got 2 liters for tonight. And I am about to hit a quick climb. It's like 600 feet, and then that'll be over a mile. And then the next mile, there's supposed to be a ton of cell sites. So first one that tickles my fancy is where I'm stopping. So that should put me just about 21 and a half, 22 miles for the day. So I feel pretty good about that given how heavy my pack is. And my buff is like all stretched out too big and it keeps falling in my eyes. As you can see, it's like slowly working its way down my forehead. But overall, pretty good day. Pretty stoked. Good morning. So I'm in my tent watching the sunrise, having coffee. And I should be on the road by now. It's after 7. And I decided to have coffee this trip because I was getting headaches in the morning. I was having coffee in town, and so my efforts to wean myself off of coffee while they worked have been thwarted by my coffee consumption in town. I'm going to do 20 today, maybe a little more, 21. And I'm aiming for a shelter that distance away that has some tenting. I'm a little worried if I don't get there early, I won't get a spot because there's just a ton of section hikers out. And I am the lone thru hiker, so I thought I would be running into flip-floppers who had flipped down from Maine, but I have not seen any. I don't know. We'll see. So it's around 11:30. I've only done 7 miles. I just took a half-hour break at this it's not a wayside, it's like a parking area. Dumped my trash, charged my phone, got water. I had to call home. My hinged knee brace is too big, so I think it was so swollen when I got it. So that plus weight loss, I can stick my entire hand in between the hinge and my knee. And it's not supposed to be super tight in that area, but it's huge. So we need to find a smaller brace. So I called home and got my husband working on that. And I have a 2,000 foot climb now. So downloaded a podcast. I'm going to put the earbuds in and try to power through it and make up some time since it's got a late start and I'm not going super fast today. Like 2.25 miles an hour, I think is what I was before my break. So we have a little work to do. Get caught back up. Because I still want to get 20 in every day, at least. And I would love to get like a 25 or more in this section. Just because I'm kind of getting into challenging myself, which is not my normal MO when it comes to physical activity. Look at these views. Amazing. See a little bit of fall colors down there. Having lunch up here, and then I'm gonna rock out another 13 miles or so. Gorgeous views in this section of Shenandoah. I think it's Pinnacle Peak area. Should be some picnic grounds coming up. I'm sure we'll cross Skyline Drive for like the millionth time in the last day. Good evening. So it's about 6:15. It is a Friday, and because the Shenandoah backcountry pretty much follows Skyline Drive, and there's Skyline Drive, and there's so many parking spots. It has just been insane crowded today, which really slowed me down. I also kind of lollygagged, took a couple longer breaks than I normally do, and got started an hour late. So I'm at 21, just under 21 miles. I want to do, where I like to camp is 22 and a half. So I'm just under 2 miles to do. So I am a little worried that there will be no space. I passed by a shelter earlier today, and at noon it was like all the tent spots were gone. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm worried about nothing. We will find out in about 45 minutes. So it'll be dark. I hate that the days are getting shorter because I could realistically walk until probably about 9 o'clock tonight. But I am not a fan of night hiking, so. Alright, 6:45. And we are off. We even had a real breakfast. We had oatmeal and coffee. Goal today is at least 22, ideally 25, but there's a lot of climbing, like 6,000 feet, so maybe 5,000. So it's probably not going to happen. Probably closer to 22, which was the minimum, or I should say the average, that I needed to do through Shenandoah. So. Okay. We have a traffic jam this morning. I'd like to get moving, but we have a deer who's eating. I hear some voices coming, so I'll probably scare it off. Alright, leaving the Lewis Mountain Lodge camp store where someone just bought my resupply caboose through hiker from 2019, which is like so nice. And I really just want to get in one of these cabins and take a nap and be done for the day. But alas, I have to outwalk this tropical storm. So we're back on the trail. The sprinkling is holding off. It's in the 60s, but without the sun, it definitely is chilly. I took a nice long break. I've had a headache all day. I still do, despite taking some medicine. But I had a warm cup of coffee, warm mashed potatoes, 400 calorie bag of Doritos, and some chocolate. So if that doesn't fix it, then I'm just going to have a headache the rest of the day. High vis, I ran into on the way out of the campground. He is going to the next hut, which would be my minimum stopping point, but he is trying to get into Waynesboro on Tuesday, and I really want to get there on Monday. So I think it really comes down to what the rain is going to do, and I don't like packing up in the rain, but I also don't want to walk an extra 2 miles in the rain. So, you know, it's worse, I guess. So see if the rain comes out the rest of the day. It's pouring. You can see. Uh-oh, here come people, and how embarrassing I find this. There we go. Road. All the way, all the time. It feels like. Alright, slight change of plans. I was looking at the weather, and the storm keeps moving up. So it's not Monday, it's going to be like tomorrow afternoon, so Sunday afternoon and Monday morning. So I'm probably going to stop at the hut up here. I'm going to get up real early, and assuming it's just high vis in there, I will sleep in the shelter since they're being maintained in Shenandoah, versus really trying to follow the rules that the ATC set out. 21 miles to the next shelter, which is also within the park and therefore being maintained, and then from there it'll be like 20 miles into town on Monday, and so that way I can at least somewhat stay dry. Alright, I'm out. Good morning. It is October 11th, I think? Yeah, October 11th. Tropical Storm Delta Day. Should be hitting us this afternoon and tomorrow morning. I'm doing just under 21 miles. No, 22 miles to a shelter, or a hut as they call them in Shenandoah. And I left this morning around 6:30. It's probably about 7:30 now. A couple miles in. And my goal is to get as much done. It is muggy and hot. It is by far the warmest it's been in a couple weeks. But feeling pretty good. I've been pushing 22s all Shenandoah, so I feel great. At the hut last night, I got there, and Biz said, oh yeah, there were tons of people attending the night before, but he was the only person in the shelter, which is great, because I don't want to sleep next to people I don't know, COVID or not. I get there, shelter's totally full. I did see a couple I had met in New York. They're from Louisiana. They were really sweet. I walked in, they were like, Generator, do you remember us? Super cute. Anyway, everyone was really nice. There were no tent spots left. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to go stealth somewhere and I'll keep walking. This guy's like, hey, I saw this one over here. You could probably, like, fit a tent. So he, it was dark at that point. So he led me to a spot. It was perfect. I ended up getting a very flat spot. Some of the other people were jealous because they were up on this ridge and it was like the official tent spots, but they were rather angled. So, I got a good night's sleep. Had coffee. Biz shared a little whiskey with me last night. So, I think I'm in a good position to get my 22 in today. Whoop, downhill. Alright, I'll check in with you later. Probably when it's raining. Now we're seeing some colors. Super pretty today. Shockingly, it's raining. Not really. So I stopped at the camp store. There's a family of guys there that were doing a boys' weekend. I will be seeing them at the shelter. So I'm trying to beat them there. I think they're ahead of me because I had to make some phone calls. And there was service at the store. And I am going to rush the last 7.5 miles. We're done really early today. So yeah, it's good. It's raining again. Shocker. Yeah. Slept at, I think it was Black Rock hut area last night. Not bad. Stayed dry. Got moving around 7. 21 miles to do today to get to Rockfish Gap and to get into town. Food bag is feeling nice and light. And so far so good. A little windier today, but the rain's supposed to stop by 2. Hopefully, get dried out. I was like in the 50s last night, so my clothes were cold when I put them on, but within like 5 minutes I was sweating, so not anything to worry about. Oh, I'm actually really hot right now. Alright, I'll check in later. Still raining. We've been really lucky in terms of rain, and almost every time it rains, like I just happen to be like going into town, so it's always worked out. But it has been raining nonstop for over 24 hours now, and I am ready for it to stop. It was supposed to kind of die off around 2, so any moment I expect maybe a peak of sun, which would be lovely. Start drying out in the last 6 or 7 miles here. I am pooped. 5 days plus, like, this will be my 5th day over 20 miles, which I have not been able to achieve previously. So I'm super soaked, but my legs are feeling it for sure. Although I haven't taken any Tylenol or Advil today, so I feel pretty good about that.